All right, all right. Sound check, sound check. Hey everyone, welcome to Soulpreneur Sunday. Hope everything's working. Let me know in the comments where you are from, if you can hear me. Yes, I like to do these Soulpreneur Sundays every Sunday. So today we're going to talk about the astrology and the cards for intuitive entrepreneurs, talking about your money, your health, your wealth, your love. And this is for the week of May 24th to 31. Okay. So May 24th to May 31st. And by the way, on May 1st is the full moon. Dun, dun, dun. So some completion phases for us indeed. Okay. So I'm just excited because it's Gemini season and, Gemini is all about communication. So I've upgraded my laptop, which means I can use my Shure microphone again. Yay. So I'm happy about that. Gemini being all about communication. Well, I actually bought something too for my emergency toolkit having to do with communication. It's a new crank radio and it's solar powered. So you could charge it by solar power, or you could plug it to a USB. Or you can use the crank in dark situations where there's no light for the solar. And it works actually really well. It also has a cool light. Can you see that? So you got a cool light with it. And it brings up the stations pretty good. It also brings up CB stations, FM and AM. And so if I turn the volume on, so you can go on all the stations. It's pretty good for a little thing. So yeah, that's kind of a Gemini thing. Last time we had Uranus moving season, so there was a lot about communication and things like that too. So I think this would come in handy in an emergency situation. Plus, you can charge your devices, smaller devices as well. So it's a pretty cool little thing that I got. It's a crank radio, solar powered. Yes. So Gemini season. Yes. Happy birthday if you're a Gemini. Let me know in the comments. I should be checking the comments here. Let me know in the comments if you are a Gemini, Gemini moon, Gemini rising, and you've noticed a shift. We just left Taurus season. I love this time of year in May where the flowers are blooming, everything's blooming, and it's fresh and green and feels new. And I just really like this time of year. So today we're going to be talking about the week of May 24th to 31st. It feels pretty big this week. Okay. There's a mixture of inspiration. Okay. There's some power moves. There's a few days that aren't so great because of emotional pressure, which we'll get to. And there's that full moon at the very end of the month, May 31st. So next Sunday. And that's asking us to release what is draining us of our energy and our focus. And you know what? This isn't really a sit back and wait kind of week either. It's more of like taking intuitive action. It's strategic alignment, protecting your nervous system. Gemini likes to be up here in the air element, lots of Wi-Fi, lots of ideas, lots of mind things. And so it's important to ground ourselves still. I like to go bare feet all the time now and walk in the grass all the time and ground myself through essential oils and things like that, which you guys already know, but it's a lot about protecting your nervous system. And it's also about making smart moves with your money, your energy, and also as an entrepreneur, your visibility. All right. Let me know in the comments where you're from. I do read every one of them. I am broadcasting here to Facebook and YouTube, by the way. I'm not sure if the comments will show up here, but hopefully they do. And let me know where you're from and let me know your astrology sign. Okay, so let's look at the first section here, which is May 24th. Sun sextile Neptune. Okay, so this energy is really beautiful. So we started off, today is Sunday, May 24th, perfect for soulpreneur, creativity, visioning, right? Spiritual business ideas, healing work, good for content creation. That's why I'm live today, and branding and reconnecting to why you started your business in the first place. And yes, those kind of thoughts were going through my head all day as I was thinking of Soulpreneur Sunday stream for today. Neptune, though, softens the energy and it opens the imagination. You may suddenly get ideas through your dreams, your music, your meditation, during your shower or bath time. Driving, you might get some ideas, journaling, and sometimes just even random conversations. So it's a really good day for that. Spirit is whispering instead of screaming at you today. So that's very nice. Now, for money, because we all like money, we need money, but for the money stuff, pay attention to your inspired business ideas. Those thoughts that keep reoccurring over and over again in your head, and things people keep asking you for. Notice that. And maybe it's just a gentle nudge to create something more simple. Okay. It's not to forcing the energy. It's not that. It's more of a flow energy today. And sometimes, you guys, the most profitable offer is not the most difficult one. Feels easy to talk about. We were talking about this kind of thing too in our last Cards and Stars Academy meeting, and you might be interested in joining us. You get your monthly Zoom meeting with us all together where we learn and we practice on each other with the cards and astrology charts and all the things, talk about spiritual stuff, and so we meet once a week on Zoom. You also get your free video from me, your predictions video, your personal predictions video just for you every month, so you know what's ahead. I'm working on the June ones right now for members of the Cards and Stars Academy. And also you get my library of resources. And so it includes the Zoom replays as well as all these trainings for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Anything you want to know about Lenormand, Tarot, numerology, astrology, all the things, right? All the things in your library. And then you'll never miss a session. Even if you do miss a session on Zoom, you can always go back and watch the replays. And also you can do the trainings whenever you feel like it. And they're short and sweet, so it's not too long. Like you're not sitting there for hours, and it's practical information you can use. Interested in that. Okay. So health tip for this May 24th today, Sun sextile Neptune. Your nervous system might be extra sensitive this week. Reduce the doom scrolling, right? Reduce overstimulation, chaotic environments, right? You just want to relax. Neptune wants you to relax. And watch out for too much caffeine. That could be, I know solar flares are and the Schumann resonance are definitely a reason why we're not sleeping at night and things like that. But sleep schedule is very important at this time, and not having caffeine too late at night or stimulants like that to keep you awake. Watch out too for emotional energy vampires. Your intuition gets louder when your body gets quieter. All right. Next is May 25th. That's the Monday. All right. So Monday, we start off our week. It's kind of a fiery thing with both Sun and Mars, which are hot planets. They're trining the nodes, the lunar nodes. So there's this action going between the hot and the cold, and it feels like destiny activation because the nodes, the lunar nodes, there's a point in the chart with the moon doing stuff. Okay, I'm not going to get all into the whole background of it, but I'm going to say that this feels quite like a destiny thing, and with the Sun and Mars doing its thing. So let's talk about the nodes for a second. The lunar nodes represent your timeline, your karmic direction, future path, okay? What you're meant to grow towards. And Mars, action. Okay. Mars adds action, and the sun adds visibility. All right. Especially in your business or career. This is a powerful week to actually launch something, to go live like this, right? I'm using StreamYard, by the way, in case you're wondering what kind of platform I'm using today. Posting consistently, pitching yourself, right? Selling. Nobody knows what you're, just talk about how you can help people and things like that. Networking, right? And reconnecting to your audience. That's a good thing to do as a soulpreneur. Or finally acting on an idea that you've been sitting on for a while and just finally taking action. Mars and the sun are giving you the action behind it, right? The go-go juice. When it comes to money, momentum creates money this week. It's not about perfection. I'm more of a 70-30 person. 70% perfect, good enough. I can always edit it and fine tune it later, but you gotta get something out there, right? So it's not about endless planning. It's not about perfection. Mars and the sun want you to take action on something, even if it's not perfect. It is an action oriented thing. So soulpreneurs who will win this week, win the game of life, they do the follow ups. They post that offer. They send that email. Hosting this live stream, right? Hosting the live stream, not this one, but making that Instagram reel or Facebook reel, or finally just talking about what they actually do and having the bravery for that. The universe can't amplify what you refuse to reveal. All right. So there is an opportunity for amplification of things, but you just got to get out there. You just got to take action. When it comes to health, your body does want movement right now. This is not stagnant, sit still energy. This is all walking and stretching and lifting the weights and dancing and swimming and cleaning your office. Can be also about reorganizing your space, your business space or your home business space, or just your home in general. Reorganization can be very helpful here. But movement of any sort helps unblock any stagnation. What we want to watch out for on Monday is don't let the fear of judgment stop your visibility. This week rewards courage, and even imperfect action can open a new timeline. All right, let's pull a card here from the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand. All right, for this May 25th, beginning of the week, taking action, Sun and Mars trining the nodes. These are our cards available on www.themoontree.org. I'll just repost that. Okay. And here we are. The scythe, making decisions. Exactly. We just have to be careful though, because Mars and the sun like that, pretty hot. We have to be careful for like accidents or not thinking before taking action, watching your surroundings, because we might accidentally be clumsy or we're moving too fast, because there's it wants action, but we also have to be careful too, right? But in general, this is quite about taking action. If I look at the number 10, right? 10, the scythe, 1 plus 0 is 1. That's how you reduce the number. So 1 plus 0 is 1, the beginning, taking action, starting something new. Monday, beginning of the week. And with the Sun and Mars trining the nodes there, taking action is a good thing. If you like essential oils and all those kind of things like I do, frankincense is a really good one. That's cool because I just got some frankincense in the other day. So I'll be using that a little more this week with my other ones. And you can also use rosemary, clary sage, very good. And if you like gemstones, well, smoky quartz would be good to ground all this energy and protect you. Black tourmaline. But also lapis lazuli is a nice one for the goddess energy and being like feeling comfortable and confident in your speech, in your action, in your future. So that looks good. All right, let's go to the next day. May 26th. That's a Tuesday, I believe. Yes. Mars square Pluto. Uh-oh. This is one of them crazy days. So watch out for Tuesday. We also have the sun sextiling Pluto, which is more softer energy, I suppose, but this is pretty intense. It's very intense part of the week, okay? Tuesday, May 26th. Let's see here. Just trying to get my thoughts together. Mars square Pluto. This can feel intense, like we said, but it's explosive and emotionally charged. There's a lot of emotion. Mars is that warrior, go, and it's squaring, so it's not too, it's kind of having a little bit of problems, maybe conflict with Pluto, which wants change, and it can feel a little obsessive, right? Being too obsessed about something. It's power struggle-ish. Having power struggles with people, right? I would say watch out for driving that day. Maybe some angry drivers, impatient. Watch out for that. But it can be very deeply transformational. I think that collectively people on Tuesday will feel more reactive. Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur, let's say you want a business and people are coming into your shop, they may feel more reactive, or you may get more aggressive feeling, or just chaotic energy. So you just want to ground yourself, put your black tourmaline or your smoky quartz in your bra or in your pocket, hold on to, touch it, feel it, like get that grounding protective energy. I like to make what's called like my protective sleeping bag. I learned this from, I think it was Doreen Virtue. But anyways, you start from the bottom and you zip it all the way to the top, and then you go out into the world and only good things can come in. Not bad. And it's a protection field. It's like a force field of protection. So because arguments can escalate quickly. I would not do the doom scrolling, getting involved in chats that day, because it'll quickly turn into arguments or taking things out of proportion. Okay. In business, see, this transit's going to expose control issues, burnout patterns that you've been having. It could be energy leaks. It's going to expose maybe manipulation, resentment, or where you're doing forcing things instead of aligning with things. Okay, so we want to watch that. But it's not all bad. Okay, the sun sextile Pluto, which is the nicer part of the day, right? This means transformation is available to you if you are willing to be honest. Okay, so remember that on Tuesday. A money tip for Tuesday, May 26th, is audit your business energy. We want to ask ourselves, what's draining me? What's not profitable anymore? What feels heavy? I don't want to do it. Maybe you still need to do something in your business, but you don't want to do it. It could be a case of um, what client type exhausts you? What systems need simplifying? Sometimes abundance happens after we stop feeding the dead energy. Okay. And again, that Tuesday, this transit, Mars and squaring the Pluto, very hot and inflammation-y. Okay. So we want to watch for inflammation, stress, and the adrenal overload. I like to do adrenal, like right under the lymph nodes or right under the armpit where it feels a little pressure point there. Start just massaging that. You can do that yourself, right? Those lymph nodes, the headaches, the tension. We've got to watch for that. Emotional exhaustion, just sleep issues, stress, that kind of thing, right? Protect your energy fiercely on Tuesday. This is not the week to overbook yourself, to argue online, to the where Pluto and the sun sextile, cooling through a nice magnesium, Epsom salts, baking soda, essential oils, things like that can be helpful for you. Okay. All right. So let's see here. We'll pull a card for Tuesday. What needs to die on Tuesday so something stronger can emerge? And when I say die, I mean letting go, releasing something that you hate, you don't like anymore. And usually, that just has something to do with their daily life. Sometimes it could be deeper, like a relationship, or you know what I mean. It can get stronger, but it's about letting go of revenge energy. Don't be vengeful or doom spending or doom scrolling. It's like releasing that it's not very good, right? See, we got the mountain, right? What's in our way? What's the obstacle in our way that we need to remove so that something can emerge? Sometimes the mountain comes up when we're trying to manipulate or control the situation, control the ending, control our desire, like control the manifestation. And sometimes we just have to let go of trying to control the outcome. And how do we fly over the mountain? How do we get around the mountain, right? For some, this can mean a vacation is needed, maybe to the mountains, to be able to get away from all the pressure, right? It could be just going outside and enjoying the outdoors too in some cases. But in general, this Lenormand card does mean obstacles in our life, okay? And so we want to think about what's draining me, what's the obstacle here, and that can be what's not profitable anymore, what feels heavy, what kind of client is exhausting me as an entrepreneur, and then working on attracting the client type that you want, right? That vibes with you. So important stuff, right? Important stuff this week. All right, let's move to the next day. What's happening on May 28th? Okay, May 28th is Thursday. So Tuesday and Wednesday was a little rough, but then Thursday comes, and this is a little emotionally heavy too. I mean, Venus square Saturn can feel emotionally heavy because Venus rules all the money and the beauty and the relationships, self-worth, your values. And Saturn brings things to reality. Saturn wants you to be responsible, but Saturn's very disciplined. Like Venus would like to just be her goddess self and, I don't know, run naked life and then yeah, that's all fine and dandy, Venus, but there needs to be a process, there needs to be structure, there needs to be responsibility. There's a time to work, there's a time to play. Like Saturn's a little bit of like that, so and can bring delays to things. And so this transit might temporarily make fellow entrepreneurs, okay, it might make us feel unsupported or financially restricted or restrained in some way. Could make us feel emotionally distant because Saturn's kind of a cold planet and likes to have a little bit of distance. And that Venus is warm and wants to love and do fun things. And then Saturn's a little more serious. You know how that's going in that square. That's kind of like a conflict in a way, right? It can make us feel insecure, basically, or discouraged. But Saturn's not here to punish us, right? Saturn is asking us, okay, what you're doing, Venus, is this sustainable long term? This can be a case of like really looking at your stuff if you're trying to be financially better, improved in your life. What are you buying in your life that is simply a liability? And it's looking at your assets and seeing how you can make your assets be more of cash flow, bringing cash flow. So like if you buy a house, that's a liability. It's a thing. It could depreciate. It could appreciate. We don't know the real estate market. It's a liability. You don't know nothing unless you're using it to rent it out and you're making your money, right? Or you're making maybe an Airbnb room or whatever, or you're using your acreage to be able to, so people can store their RVs on it. I'm just making up here stuff, but that's an example of transforming a liability into an asset, into a cash flowing generating asset. And Venus square Saturn is really looking at that kind of stuff. Okay. Again, I'm not here to make you miserable. I am asking you, can this be sustainable long term? And that goes with relationships. Venus likes relationships and talking about relationships and partnerships and things. So then, can this, just remember, can this be sustainable long term? Now, this is an excellent transit, though, for budgeting, managing your expenses, restructuring your offers, raising your standards, improving your boundaries. That's a very important one. Improving your boundaries in all ways and building something stable. This is not fast money energy. This is mature money, long-term game, disciplined money, legacy building energy. I know we're used to, they've been training us, get things quick, immediate gratification, but Saturn's asking us to go back a little bit in time to the old ways where it was not immediate, it was more long term. What are you doing to plan for the future? Right? There's a balance between having short-term luxuries and short-term, gifts and things that you buy for yourself and all that. Sure. I mean, we all need a little fun in our life, but we also have to balance that with the long game, the long term, the legacy building energy. Now, as a health wellness, well, your body might crave the rest, the structure, minerals, right? Those minerals and grounding foods, routine, emotional boundaries. We want to watch out. Oh, this is a good day. I forgot to say, May 28th, Venus square Saturn. Go to bed earlier, okay? Organize your finances. Meal prep. That's a good one. And reducing the emotional overload. Doing a few things now, which will help benefit you later, the long game, right? We got to have a balance. And we want to watch out for not spiraling into doom and gloom if your engagement dips, if nobody comes to your live, if sales slow temporarily, or emotions feel heavier, right? Saturn does do that sometimes, that's true, but it also strengthens. And finally, oh, wait, I forgot to pull a card. Okay, so this is May 28th, Venus square Saturn. Talked about the long game. And there you go. Long game. That's the ship. Okay, the ship. Number 3. This is movement. Often in ancient Lenormand, it's really about commerce, business, making money. So there is a money financial piece to this day, right? With the Venus, which means money, squaring Saturn, which asks for longevity, structure, stability, and the long-term game. So keep that in mind with the ship. If you'd like, let's look at number 3, what I wrote for the ship in Lenormand. It can be business growth. This can be travel or a sea cruise as well. Maybe for some of you, it is seeking adventure or maybe committing to more foreign affairs in your business, foreign commercial business exploration. And maybe it's looking at your investments. Maybe it's reallocating your investments to more long-term assets, wealth generation, that kind of stuff. Black kyanite can be good. Blue apatite and labradorite can be very good for this ship card as well. If you like essential oils like I do, clove is a good one. Ylang ylang, my personal favorite. Lovely ylang ylang. And blackberry and clary sage coming up again. So clary sage has come up twice already in the cards. So that'll be a very good one this week in general. The planet that rules the ship is Jupiter for expansion. And this rules your liver and gallbladder. Now, the liver holds a lot of anger too. It could be good for a liver cleanse. I'm actually making dandelion tincture right now. In June, it should be ready. So I'm excited about that. And dandelion heals the liver and the kidneys. Actually, every piece of the dandelion does something for your body. The root is good for the liver, on the stem, and then the flower part, the yellow flower part. So they're all good for something. So in my dandelion tincture, I put them all. I put all three pieces of the dandelion or so in my tincture. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be very exciting. This is the 10 of spades too in regular playing cards, which would be like the 10. I'm sorry. It's the affirmation for this is, my life is an adventure and I am open to all possibilities. The only thing is that the 10 of wands or the 10 of spades, okay, you got to be careful not to take too much on either, right? There's a balance. It's always the universe trying to balance itself. Your body's always trying to balance itself. Everything's trying to find that balance in life. But my life is an adventure. I'm open to all possibilities, and that's exciting indeed. Finally, we get the full moon. I believe it's in. Wait, what is the full moon? Doesn't matter right now. I forget what the full moon, which zodiac sign it's in. Doesn't matter. This full moon feels like a release point. Okay. The reason I'm saying it doesn't matter what the zodiac sign is because of the fact that the moon may be different if you're looking at true sky astrology versus tropical astrology and all that. But no matter what you're looking at, it's still a full moon. Okay. So the full moons reveal things. Truths come to the surface, but also your exhaustion can surface, your tiredness can surface, clarity can surface. The parasites in your body can be a little more active. This is a good time, by the way, to do a parasite cleanse, an herbal parasite cleanse, or using a Rife machine or things like that to remove those little pesky critters that are causing a lot of things. But any misalignment in your life will become apparent in this full moon. Okay. It's impossible to ignore. For soulpreneurs, this full moon asks us, what can't come with us to our new level? This new level we've entered. What has to be left behind? What can't come with us anymore? It's a release theme here. Releasing people pleasing, for one. Trying to be everybody's cup of tea. Not good. You're not going to please everyone. You got to release undercharging, the fear of visibility, also inconsistency, releasing that. Comparison, like comparing yourself to other business, other people, and not like the comparison thing. We got to release that. We got to release overconsumption of everything, data included. Okay. And scattered energy. So that's what's going to really come up here for this full moon. Now, for a money tip, full moons are amazing for clearing the clutter and for cleaning your workspaces, for cleaning your body out, for reviewing your subscriptions, finishing old projects, and simplifying your business systems. See, clearing clutter, whether it's from your vehicle, your house, your business, whatever, your body, clearing clutter can create really surprising energetic movement and flow financially. The money can flow more easier when there's not stuff, physical matter in the way. Okay. Health tip. We want to prioritize hydration. And that's a lot about getting those minerals, because it's not just enough to drink a bunch of water. Because in fact, if you drink too much water, another thing is overconsumption. Yes, you can even overconsume water. You're washing out the salt. And remember, in one of my last videos, I talked about how we are a battery. We have an anode and a cathode, a north and south pole type thing. And we are full of salts, which is in a battery. And salts are and minerals are what keeps it going. So hydration is not just about drinking water. It's about, I know some people, some very spiritually evolved people that do not drink water. They drink coconut water, or they simply get their water from fruits, because that water is full of the minerals and the things we need in your body, right? So just keep that in mind. We want to prioritize that, and sleep, and emotional processing, and grounding, which we already talked about. And of course, again, we talked about this, reducing the overstimulation. All right. Full moons are always notoriously known for creating lunatics, right? Luna, the moon. Okay. So keeping that in mind, full moons amplify our emotions and our nervous system sensitivity. Now, you will notice in our cards, because I wrote this a few years ago, where there was a moon card, and I had wrote, oh, our body's a reflection of the moon, and the tides are run by the moon, and all this stuff that I learned, which is actually wrong. And I want to clarify something about the moon. The moon is a luminary, and it's actually giving out a different energy than the sun. It's not reflecting the sun. It's giving out its own energy. And you can measure that through a specific kind of machine. It's a light machine. And it's a very different kind of light that's being generated from each luminary, the sun versus the moon. So it's not a reflection. Plus, if we think about it, if it controls the tides so much and ourselves, well, how come, little puddles and rivers don't get affected by the moon? So the moon has nothing to do with the tides. The tides are caused by something else, okay? Which that's for another video, another time. But the moon definitely has this way of causing humans to be amplified, because it's like the top of the energy. It's the culmination. You can't get any higher than this with energy, right? And then it starts to go waning downwards towards a new moon 2 weeks later, where the moon darkens. So this is about reducing overstimulation. And because full moons, yes, they can amplify our emotions and our nervous system sensitivity, that's for sure. Okay. So let's do our closing. Oh, no, wait. Let's do our card for the full moon on May 31st. Full moon. I usually always start my as a woman on full moons or new moons. Isn't that funny? But I'm also a moon in Cancer, and I'm also a rising sign Cancer. So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Anyway, oh, wow. We got the coffin. This is an ending. Coffin ending, number 8. So just like we said, the full moon, I should say, was a releasing point. We're ending something, we're releasing something. What can't come with us to the next level, we talked about. So let's look at number 8, the coffin in the book, for the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, available on my website. Transformation, new life cycle. For example, retirement or marriage. An ending. For some, this can be a literal coffin, but I don't really like to talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? This can also be about a negative attitude, and it's time to release those negative beliefs, the negative attitude, right? And remember, at the bottom of our decks, when you open it up, you get your chakra chart. And at the bottom, you get, I better show this better. Everything always works out for me. Right? Here's the chakra chart too. It gives you meanings and things like that. So the coffin is not something to be and it's getting rid of destructive behavior. Okay. Gemstones you could use are shungite and malachite. Herkimer diamonds. And you know what? Amethyst is a good one too for this card. Amethyst is the Jill of all trades, I call it. Good for many things. And when you use stones, you can carry them, you can touch them, you can put them under your pillow. You do whatever you want, right? That's why they call them the pet rock. Now, sage comes up again. White sage, cedar wood, and melissa essential oils can be very good for that coffin card. The planets that are ruling this card is Pluto for transformation. I feel like this card is a lot like the death card in Tarot, which is a transformation card, right? Transforming into something new, releasing old, transforming into something new. It's the 9 of diamonds, and 9s, as we know, is the end of the cycle, just like a full moon is. So your affirmation for the coffin for this full moon, May 31st, is I embrace the endings in my life and I am open to new experiences. Isn't that nice? All right. So, fellow soulpreneurs, as a closing message, in closing, we'll say, this week is it's about intuitive alignment, courageous action, emotional maturity, strategic transformation, and just releasing what drains your power, whatever that means for you. Soulpreneurs this week are the ones who the ones who do best, I should say. The ones who will win the game of life this week are those who trust their intuition, who simplify their energy, who take action, and who stop trying to force timelines. So protect that energy, and the strategy becomes clearer. And if you resonated with this, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon to be alerted to new videos coming out. Share this live stream with your friends and your fellow soulpreneurs who may enjoy it. And come join us again next Sunday for another Soulpreneur Sunday. And if you want deeper guidance for yourself, whether that's your business path, your visibility, your money blocks, your business, whatever, check out my offerings at www.themoontree.org. Hope to see you there. Check out the Cards and Stars Academy too if you want to go deeper. It's a very affordable group thing that I host, and I know y'all love it. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today and for watching. I'm Trina, your intuitive guide with a chakra vibe, helping you navigate life's energies. And I'll see you in the next one.